My subscription's expired, it says.
Yep, that's unfortunate.
I think that's
that
weird.
noise.
All right, week 29.
Wow, we got week 29.
Week 29.
I think that's 29 in Espanol.
Oh, nice.
29. Sí, señor.
I've never got past 15. King's Day.
Hey.
Cinco de Mayo coming up.
I don't know if that's the climate for that one.
Oh, we should plan something for our 30th show.
Ooh, yeah, next week.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
So, what's going on in the world? Man, there's a bunch of shit that happened this week. It's hard to remember it all.
Actually, I haven't even been paying attention.
Windmills cause cancer.
I saw something about that. Yeah. The sound of windmills cause cancer?
Yeah.
So Don Quixote was saving us.
Yeah, Trump was saying that windmills cause cancer. He said it on a couple of different occasions. And it's like, oh my god, dude.
He's also posting Joe Biden memes, which I thought was kind of funny.
Is he? Are they good memes or are they just
they're bad about Joe Biden's been putting his hands on people and he apologized for his conduct over there because he's thinking about running for president, so all this shit's coming out.
I heard the apology. It wasn't really an apology.
No.
It was
I don't think he said sorry one time, did he?
He said, "I'm sorry, y'all took it that way."
Yeah, he's out.
Oh, that reminds me of Smollett. He's out of the news really quick, isn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't that how crazy that is? Is that he all of a sudden gets off on everything and you don't see it in the news again?
Hey, when you know the right people.
Yeah, it seems like it because there's some exchange from Obama's wife's, what's her name? Anyways, one of her people that works with her was saying, "Oh, we can get the FBI to drop this or do something like that, or get the FBI involved, and that would be the best thing." And yeah, it's pretty shady shit.
It's like the media gets you, chops you up in the liver, and just boom, you're done.
And you just out there off to the side. The prosecutor in the O.J. Simpson case, right?
Yeah.
Is defending the guy who was accused of shooting rapper Nipsey Hussle.
I don't know who the rapper is, but the attorney is, if you don't fit, you must quit.
Yep.
What is his name?
Was it Cochran? I think it was
Johnny Cochran.
It is Johnny Cochran.
He died, didn't he?
Yeah, he died, but the prosecutor in that case.
Was it a chick?
No.
There was like
She's prosecuting him?
No. So
there was different prosecutions in that trial.
Yeah, the prosecutor for the OJ trial was a younger woman, or an inexperienced woman that fumbled a lot, almost quit the case a few times. And that was part of the shakiness of the whole case.
I think his name is Dixon or something. You want to...
So did you say the prosecutor is defending the murderer?
The prosecutor defending the murderer. And like...
former prosecutor.
Former prosecutor, yeah.
Now she's a private attorney.
It's not a she though. It's a he. It's a black dude.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's it was about a year or two ago that I watched the OJ series.
Yeah,
that was good. It was because I didn't really watch it during the time it was happening because it was just like, oh my god, celebrity hubbub.
Are you trying to say that maybe this guy's going to get away with it?
It's a possibility.
I don't think so.
It's a possibility.
There's no way. You can't have the reaction that our nation had after that, and then he just get off on that shit. There's no way.
I don't even know.
You think, but the city of Chicago is still asking for $160,000, which they're probably not going to get.
Huh.
I would like to see the justice be served, but the reality of the world we live in is very different from...
Well, we could do an over-under on it.
It's a possibility.
Yeah,
he's doing a minimum 5 years.
I'm going to say over.
Over?
Yeah, over 5.
He has to do at least over 5.
You would think.
But he has this insanity case, and that's what he's working with, because he checked himself into a mental hospital after he did it.
There's going to have to be a history of mental problems.
There is. That's why he checked himself under his robe.
5 years seems right.
Yeah, maybe so. I'm still going over.
But still, even if he doesn't get the insanity plea, 5 years is basically the way of saying, oh, we could charge you with this, but we're willing to bring it down to this.
Well, insanity plea lands you in the hospital for 10 years.
Yeah.
They'll say, yeah, you need treatment. And so they put you in, like the guy fucking killed Ronald Reagan. Or not, shot Ronald Reagan. He didn't insanity thing, and he was in for quite a while, but he just got out.
Yeah.
Oh, recently?
Yeah, about a year ago.
Yeah.
Forget his name, too. The other big news was the Barr report on the Mueller report.
Oh, yeah.
The Mueller report was 400 pages long, and the Barr report is 3 pages long, or something like that. So it's like
It's a summary.
There's so much controversy about that, and they just voted to get his tax returns and so now he's appealing it to the Supreme Court.
Mm.
So
I'm liking this.
I don't like that because the Supreme Court's heavily conservative, so they might say, yeah, it's none of the government's business to be looking at people's stuff, and that could be their change of the law. Because the law currently says that anytime they ask for anybody's tax returns, they get it. And I think Cortez put that on there, AOC.
Mm-hmm.
She put on there, we demand to see his tax returns now, and he responded by saying, this is under audit, and you have to, I don't have to give them up when they're under audit. And then Congress responded with, we didn't ask you. I love it. See, that's kind of how the politics have turned into like WWE.
It's so weird.
Wrestling.
Wrestling.
So weird.
Yeah, the wrestling.
It's so weird how a small group of people run this country.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. And to see where we've come.
And they've done it for decades.
Yeah,
since the beginning of.
And it's so crazy to think that when people are born into this world, they're in America, I should say. When they're born into America, they're born into a system with people already running it, which is rigged against you, in a sense. And it's trippy to think about how it shouldn't be that way. To think of a world where you're just born and told, like, hey, this is what's going on. We don't know why we're here. This old government or whatever.
Freedom, I think freedom is an illusion.
Well,
there's a caste, not an illusion as to where it's not achievable, but an illusion to where it's not as achievable as one may think.
Well, it's definitely subjective in a lot of ways.
I just think it takes time. That's they say the wheels of the government roll slowly because, you look at, women couldn't vote until when? Blacks couldn't vote till when? And now it's like
we were stoning people to death 200 years ago. I mean, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
And we're finally getting rid of capital punishment. Most of this country is getting rid of it.
So we're going through the motions to become better.
And so I think that the government does have a function in which people get elected, like AOC, as crazy as she can sound sometimes.
It's a step in the right direction, I suppose.
Yeah.
And she's like I feel like she's one of the people who wasn't born and bred to be in politics. She just took a passion for helping out people. And I think we need more people like that. I'm not saying Democrats, I'm saying people who are passionate about Americans.
Well, why wouldn't you run in some kind of political form yourself?
I have no reason not to run, but I also have no urge or calling to run right now. There's nothing. I think we're all driven to do something at some point in time in our life, and she just happened to be driven to politics. And just like I was driven to comedy, I haven't been pushed in the direction of.
Well, it's interesting that being a comic, that you are articulate. I mean, that's part of your job. And she was a bartender, which is also part of the job. You're dealing with all sorts of different people. You have to be on the spot. And she is well articulated. Oh, there's a beer for you.
Oh, thank you.
Nice and cold.
Oh, man. Start them early. That's good. Speaking of bartender, she needs a tissue. They're right over there.
Reminds me of that Paul Goodwin joke.
Yeah.
Give me another Maker's Mark and a Lunchable or something like that.
Right.
Well, and I think that's the thing about politics, too, is what is it that keeps a lot of our people from running for positions to make change?
I think most people don't pay attention enough, so they can't speak to the issues. That's a huge thing. And then, even if you do pay attention, how articulate are you?
Yeah.
And then the next thing is how extroverted are you?
Yeah.
And then the next thing is, do you have any skeletons?
Yeah. And the next thing is can you get up in front of a crowd and make a speech?
Right.
And read a teleprompter.
Right. But I also think that Cortez is in a spot right now that is what made me think first thing why he couldn't run for office is because he got a young baby. You know, I mean, if you go into that, if you jump into that rabbit hole, you know, you're in.
You're committing your life to it, basically.
And that's where you see, I think, a lot of these politicians that have been in there for 50 years because they just don't have a real life. You know, I mean, how many congressmen do you think haven't driven a car in the last 10 years?
Yeah. They just have like gated security at
everywhere.
their house.
So they're always in a limo or
that's all their life is.
You know, rides everywhere.
Private hotels.
Never went to the grocery store. You know,
Yeah.
some of these guys haven't been to the grocery store in 50 years.
They just PayPal each other.
And wasn't that Biden that was going through to try to talk about how great, and then they're like, "Oh, look at this thing!" They're running it on the scanner. It's like, dude, that's been around for 30 years, man. And Hillary Clinton thought that you started a car by pushing the button or something like that. I forget what it was. That was before they had cars. I don't know.
Yeah, there's no attachment to the people, and like you said you got to be articulate in order to run. Which, there's been people I know who aren't articulate that have still made it, and there are. I actually think the mayor of Tacoma doesn't even have bachelor's. It doesn't have any type of college education at all.
I don't think that's a prerequisite.
I think Tacoma also has more of a city manager role,
right?
Doesn't it?
The local thing's a little bit. I mean, just this week we had our president saying oranges when he was trying to say origins. Yeah, he was talking about the origins of the report, but he kept saying the origins or oranges. Oranges
the
of the
oranges of the report.
And then he said it again, oranges, and then you kind of see him look up to the side. And he's like, you know, the beginning of it. You know? So it's like he called himself out for not fucking knowing how to say oranges.
At least he knows. At least he knows.
Kinda.
Yes, yeah. I don't
You didn't have to get that person.
because he said it again after that. Oranges.
It's better if you catch yourself than somebody whispering in your ear like.
Oh yeah.
It could be.
Well,
He has something in his ear.
I don't see why it would be Putin. You know, I mean, that's what he said. And then the next day he's like, no, I meant to say why it wouldn't be Putin. It's like, that's a huge distinction. That's not saying oranges when you meant origins. That's like, anyways.
Any local news?
You know, I just was starting to look. I don't know. I haven't paid too much attention to local news except that I got my bike.
Hey, you looked your time.
I already wrecked it. Got a nice bruise there.
Oh yeah, I saw you when you wrecked it.
The over-under was 2 weeks, and you only made it 2 days.
I think it was that day, actually. And then, so that was nice. And I took it to the Tracyton from here, Navy Yard City, West Hills. And that was a good 10 miles, you know. And you still have to pedal, so, you know, I was sore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did read in strange news that there's a study that's been conducted that proves that mosquitoes are can be repelled using electronic dance music or EDM.
Really?
I heard something about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you do that a lot and throw some laser beams in there, you will not have mosquitoes around your property at all.
I'll tell you what, I'll take my chances with malaria.
The mosquitoes are just like, oh, what the fuck is that sound?
All right, here's a local
Horrible
story.
music.
They're building a housing facility, 74-unit apartment building over across by the graveyard, Kitsap Way, just past the freeway. Some guy's donating his property or selling it for cheap or whatever, and then they're getting a bunch of grants and stuff. So I was checking out the comments, and people are like, "Oh yeah, that's great. Just use my taxpayer money for this stuff, whatever." So I wanted to do some numbers because it's kind of weird how it works. So there's 74 units. Got a calculator?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, don't do the 74 yet. We got to do the total cost is. Where is it? Goodness gracious, there was 3 million given. Sorry. And the total cost is, come on, John. They always leave that to the end, right?
Yeah, I guess.
The total cost was 18.3 million. So put in 18.3 million. Or 18,300,000.
Yep.
Divided by 74. $247,000 for a studio apartment. That's what it's going to cost just to start it. And then they have to maintenance. They're going to have 24/7 facility on there with kids up mental health and all sort of local services. It's like, oh my God, $240,000 for a studio apartment. It's like, why don't they just take half that money and just go buy them one that already is existing for $100,000?
Yeah. That's ridiculous. But
there might be some long-term numbers there that justify it.
You know, I doubt it. I just don't. I just have such skepticism when you see like KFC or QFC right across from Brother Don's. It's been sitting there open forever. Don't you think they could put $1 million, $2 million into that, where they can slot it out, put rooms in there, and hire a security guard and do it for cheaper?
Yeah.
Or the old Kmart on the east side, or both.
I think they're trying to build some stuff up there on the waterfront by the ferry as well, because they do have that huge gate.
Oh, they're doing that for sure. That's huge news, actually, because they shut down the marina parking lot, the whole parking lot across from the Anthony's parking garage. All that parking space is gone now forever.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're building these huge condos, like you're saying, but that's private, and I get that. You know, if you're not trying to get tax dollars to pay for it. Or, that's where I think that some of these developing companies are, hand in hand with the city, where they're saying, hey, dude, we got this grant money and you got this construction company and, it's real estate business, and it's good for the economy because we're creating new.
It's good for the people that have money in this economy that are skilled workers. But is there going to come a point in time in which we call Bremerton like Breattle?
Oh yeah, it's definitely already there, and you can see by just the
that's what they want.
gentrification rates.
Yeah, that's what they're targeting for.
Yeah,
they're trying to be a little mini Seattle and attract more people from Seattle to this area
to help the downtown economy.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what that condo that's going up. That's going to have a parking garage for the marina, and then it's going to have a grocery store supposedly.
And I'm okay with all that because I'm doing shows down there, so it's going to help me out. But the parking is shit.
Yes,
the parking is horrible.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. That
so they got to do something about that.
They have to do some parking in that building, but still just downtown in general. Parking is horrible.
They got to take some of those empty lots.
Yeah, they got to figure something
garage
out.
On them. Because you got that big garage that's right there, but
if
it's only for
like,
military.
If they have big garages that are like colored a certain color that indicate free parking, that's what they need. Because a lot of people just get lost down there. They don't know where to fucking park.
Well, I don't even know if it should be free. I mean, I don't have objection to paying a few bucks to... But what bothers me the most is that you got some of these employees, mom and pop shops that park downtown, and they have to move their car every 2 hours.
Yeah.
They have to get out of work and go move their cars. That's crazy.
I'm not saying all parking should be free, but there should be free sections for people that are just there for a few hours. Maybe even people that live in the condos down there, because they're taking up the city spots. The people in the condos, they know that you can't get ticketed after 5 p.m. So they get off work and park in a 2 hour zone all night, leave in the morning. And it causes the afternoon scene to have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Parking's a big issue for any developing city, though.
Yeah. But, I don't know. I kind of feel mixed about it. When I first moved here in 96, that was right after the big boom and everybody left to Silverdale and started that. I remember when there was a first light in Silverdale,
Yeah.
People talk about that. And they used to have the car cruises down there. Well, car cruises might come back with this kind of shit.
No, they are. They have car cruises now.
Well, I mean, through downtown Bremerton. That used to be a huge thing. The cars would be backed up all the way on Burwell, and they'd go through down by the drift and around the front, and everybody would be looking at cars and stuff. They'd do that every Friday and Saturday night. It was a big thing. And I could see something like that coming back. And they used to have those projection videos, movies, nights on the top of the parking garage. And you could drive your cars up there to the top and then get out and put out your picnic table or chairs and whatever.
Yeah, we were talking about trying to do that again.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Anyway, other local news. We just had some good shows this week. On Wednesday, we had an open mic with Shelby Dodson at Cookies. And then on Friday, we had the open mic at Dog Days which was a ton of fun. Great turnout, great audience. And then yesterday, Saturday, Brother Don's 6 p.m. dinner show with Susan Jones. You hosted it.
Indeed.
And then Hi-Fi at 8. Susan Jones again. Double show. So yesterday there was 3 comedy shows within 4 hours and all within a mile of each other. And they were all successful shows.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show that there's definitely an uptick in comedy in this area, and it's being received well, so that's good.
Yeah. Thanks for your support,
Yeah.
local Seattleites.
Get your money over here, bro.
Bring it on over.
Briatolites.
Briatolites.
I just live in Bremerton. I'm not actually from there.
I've been in Bremerton my whole life.
Get the
Yeah.
fuck
I
out
remember
of
that
here.
first street light in Silverdale.
Before those Seattleites there came over.
Driving my taxes up.
Yeah. With their condo minimums.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And if I
right.
see a
Is
line
there
bike,
anything
I'm gonna
else?
shoot somebody.
What's coming up?
What's coming up? The only thing I have left in April is April 19th. We have the Family Feud, New Day Cannabis versus DRL, and Pacific Cannabis versus Dog Days.
Nice.
7 o'clock, April 19th, pre-April 20th celebration. And then on April 26th, which I believe is a Friday at Hi-Fi, we have a comedy show. So that's it for April.
Cool. And then we're going to have to figure out our brackets.
Yeah,
We're gonna have
I'm
to add 'em up.
fucked because
Well, we'll see who's more fucked.
yeah. Basically, that's what it comes down to.
All right. Well, hell, let's wrap it up.
All right, take her easy.
Bye. That was a good one.
Oh.